I'm 55 male. My daughters are 21 years old and nearly adult. My oldest is finishing up her junior year of college at an excellent school. We're all very proud of her. She has a full-ride academic scholarship that is dependent on her GPA. Well, she says, based on her current grades, after this semester, her GPA will dip below the cutoff. After extensive back and forth on the phone with the school, they say it's contractual, and we will be obligated to pay next year's tuition. If she gets her GPA back above the threshold next semester, we can apparently readdress the situation, then determine if her scholarship can be reinstated for the final semester of school. When I tell you, we bent over backward trying to find a solution before we came to the one we did. We've done the math, and she can't get her grades up with how much of the semester is left. She also can't take enough credits during the summer based on how the summer classes are structured to raise her GPA high enough, even if she got A's, and the school refuses to make any exceptions. Of course, we were upset with her allowing this to happen, and we had a long talk with her, and she's upset at herself too. But she's a very smart kid who really struggled with her mental health from sophomore year into junior year, and it affected her grades. Under no circumstances did we want her to leave college with only 1 year left. That would be unfair to her after how hard she worked. For my youngest birthday in December, we got her a brand new Toyota RAV4. This was a gift because she's also been working really hard in school and getting great grades. She's finishing up her junior year as well and has begun the application process for college. The car was a big deal. She was very happy to have it and has been driving it nonstop. Well, this week, her mom and I sat her down and told her that we're very sorry, but if we can't find another solution, we have to sell her car to help cover the oldest tuition. Mind you, the cost of this car will probably cover 1/3 of the tuition for 1 full year after FAFSA, less with the value depreciation. She became extremely upset and told us that it was unfair. We were rewarding our oldest for failing and punishing her for succeeding. And whose car would we sell if the same thing happened to her? But we never wanted her to feel punished or for our oldest to feel rewarded. It's just the reality of what we need to do right now. If the same happened to her, we would do everything to help. You are the idiot. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul. If you sell that car, the youngest will resent you forever. Also, how do you have the money to buy a teen a brand new car and not have enough for tuition? What were you going to do for her education fund? My parents used my college fund to pay for my sister's extravagant wedding. I was 17, she was 23. Back then, loans were strictly need-based, and I couldn't get enough, and my scholarship wasn't enough to cover my dream school. I went to a state school with aid and a scholarship, and it turned out fine, but I'm 50 now, and it's still a wound in my soul. It's one of the main reasons I have no contact with my family. Yep, this girl is going to go NC as soon as she can. After all, clearly the older sister is more important to OP, so the younger sister should be happy to give up her car, given that she doesn't really matter very much. Does OP's youngest not understand she should be joyfully willing to help, that her precious sister might have to get a job? Selfish. Does the oldest have a car? Maybe have her sell her car to help replenish the money. The older daughter's the golden child, obviously. Why can't your eldest child get a job to support herself and/or take out student loans? It is not fair to penalize your youngest child in favor of their sister. If you do it, be prepared for her to go low to no contact with you as soon as she's able. She will resent you, and deservedly so. It's not her fault that her sister's GPA isn't currently good enough for financial support, and you really are rewarding the eldest failure and punishing the youngest success. There's no two ways about it. Also, you gave the car as a gift. That is now your youngest daughter's car to sell or to keep. It is no longer yours. I, 33 male, and my wife, 37, of 6 years, Sally, recently had a problem. I'm a stay-at-home dad with 3 kids, a young male grammar schooler, a female kindergartner, a male toddler, and they really take away all my time. My wife, on the other hand, is a breadwinner with a well-paid and remote job. My wife came from a large family, so she always wanted a huge family for herself. It was delayed because she wanted a good career to support herself and her ideal family. We met, and she told me about wanting a big family, and at that time, I didn't mind that. We had our first son a year after we married, and my daughter the next year. Then the global issue hit, and I lost my job, so we agreed to postpone. My wife got promoted and handled all the bills and mortgage. We communicated again and decided that I'd stay home and take care of the kids and the house. We had the youngest in late 2022, and now she feels that her body's fine for another pregnancy. I'm starting to feel exhausted from taking care of everything, so I asked her to wait until the kid was a bit older, but she disagreed and explained that she was running out of time. Apparently, she won't give birth when she reaches 40 because the pregnancy risk is higher. So I explained my situation and views to her. She convinced me she would ask her sister to help me and spend more time with our children. I reminded her that her sister has her own life and can't always help me. We argued, and she called me a jerk for not keeping my word. Now she's still pushing me to have another child and won't stop, even when I confront her. I feel a little guilty here and wonder if I should accept another child. She's already near 40. So, am I the idiot? Edit. When I met her, she said at least 4 to 5 children, I think. It's not uncommon around our area. Some big families have around 7 to 10 children. I want to have another kid, but in 2 to 3 years. Not the idiot. No one should get to say, I want more kids. Don't worry, someone else will take care of them. If you can't do it yourself, then don't do it at all. It's like those families who keep pumping out babies and forcing the older kids to help raise them. No, they didn't decide for you to have more kids than you can handle, so it's not their responsibility. Likewise with her extended family. All else aside, there are 8 billion people plus on this planet, and people are still like, we need to make more humans. Especially when people are starving, homeless, and lack medical care, even within our own nation. The environmental toll of all these humans is also much worse. But we need more of my genetic material because I'm special. I truly cannot comprehend this, especially from the spouse who is not the primary caregiver. What would she achieve with another couple of kids? She still won't be able to see them and spend quality time with them because she'll probably have to be working even more. And the mindset of, oh, my sister can help with taking care of them, is at the very least awful. Kids are not figurines for your mantle. You cannot just keep shooting them out of you and pawning them off to other people to take care of. Jesus, get a grip, woman. OP, while telling her you don't feel ready is fine, you also need to consider her age. There are risks to the baby involved the older the parents are. It's reasonable if she doesn't want to risk the increase of potential problems that her age can pose if she gets pregnant again. Could you budget and hire some help? Do you need a part-time babysitter or someone to clean the house? Remember, she's 37, not 33. She does have limited time, especially if she wants good guarantees of a healthy pregnancy and baby. And not saying that older women cannot have that, they can, but she clearly isn't comfortable taking the chance that it won't. I agree, you are the idiot. You need to be honest that this isn't a question of should we have a kid now or wait a bit. At your age, this is, should we have another kid now or are we done? Don't try to run out the clock on her by saying, let's wait and see. For background, I'm a stay-at-home mom, doing 100% of the child rearing and chores around the house. Household bills are split about 80-20, with my husband covering the majority of the things, while I pick up internet or grocery bills here and there. I have savings and I also pay for all my own personal bills, like phone, car payments, and insurance. While out for dinner with some friends, the topic of division of bills and chores came up. Some friends said they expected an equal split of 50-50 for paying bills and household chores. Great, I support it if that's what works for them. But one friend in particular mentioned that being a stay-at-home mom wasn't a real job. He knows I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I obviously consider what I do work, even if it's not a traditional 9 to 5 or whatever. I politely explained that, in my opinion, domestic work was very much still work. I explained that I'm always caring for our child, which requires a lot of attention and entertainment. I also make 3 meals a day, do laundry, and clean. I also do the mental work of scheduling appointments and remembering to pick up certain groceries, toiletries, etc. I compared this to hiring a maid, a cook, or having a personal assistant. All jobs. He just came back with but you just stay at home all day living off husband. I would never go to work just so someone can live at my house rent-free. The whole table sort of laughed, and this is where I became enraged. We lived with this friend for a little while before. I knew how he lived, so I just said, I can tell you don't value domestic labor, considering your house was disgusting when we moved in, and I had to clean it, and you had no groceries but a ketchup bottle in your fridge, no kitchenware, and ate DoorDash every night in your room because you never bothered to buy furniture. There was dead silence at the table before I finished with, You're 35 years old and can't talk to women. I wouldn't worry about anyone living with you anytime soon. I could feel I was on the verge of tears and my heart was racing, so I got up and walked to my car. My husband followed me out, and when we got in the car, we began to drive home. I tried to hold back tears while he comforted me. Eventually, he told me that what I said was unnecessarily harsh, and I should try to apologize. When I got home, I'd been removed from our friends' group chat, but one of my friends had texted me on the side to tell me he thought everything I said was true, but that I shouldn't have made it personal just because our friend disagreed with my views. Now I think I just lost all my friends, and maybe it wasn't serious enough to bring up his personal stuff. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It sounds like the friend had it long coming. It's clear your friend doesn't value women or the work involved with running a household, with a kid no less, since he sees all the work you continue to do as living off your husband. This friend will never marry because as soon as any woman sees how he lives, she will turn and run the other way. I'm betting all the friends telling you to apologize are guys. You might have struck a nerve with them as well, especially if they have girlfriends or wives in their lives. Don't apologize. Why is it that when people are just low down, rude, and cruel, there's still some sort of social shield thrown up to protect them from the consequences of that behavior? He was absolutely counting on you to permit him to disrespect you, your husband, and your marriage. You elected not to play along. Good for you. I was a turbocharged stay-at-home parent of 5. Being a competent working stay-at-home parent is akin to running a small business, working to maximize the resources of your little tribe. I made no money, but my efforts allowed me to save money and have a warm, loving home life, and it was what was best for us. Who's that man to judge anyone? However, you should not be paying any household expenses when doing 100% of the labor. I do 100% of the labor, house meals, laundry, kids, minus a housekeeper, and I work. I only pay for my own phone, gas, clothes, and groceries. My husband still reimburses me for any of those, if I ask. I, 37 male, have been married for 6 years, and I have 2 boys, preschooler and toddler, with my wife. So I admit our marriage hasn't been good for a while, since the pregnancy with our first child. Still, it never seemed so bad that I would have considered leaving or wanting to confront her. But now I feel like something needs to change, and I brought this up to her already when it was just the 2 of us. But more recently, I made a comment in front of her family that might make me the idiot. So I'll explain. My wife doesn't like to make things equal with the kids. It started with naming them. She chose both our kids' names, and I really had no influence. The one time I did speak my mind about it was when I said I would love the name Jamie for one of our children. She told me she couldn't see Jamie on a grown man, and his name would be Thomas, not the actual name, but using as an example. I asked her why she chose to do it without me when we had agreed that baby names should be selected together. She said she thought we had both changed our minds because she was giving birth. One time I was getting out baby supplies and couldn't find the brand name of diapers we used. So after looking at reviews on my phone, I picked up another brand. My wife didn't like my choice and told me I should have asked her what to get, or better yet, I should have gone to however many stores to find the one she wanted to use instead of giving up after two. Over time, she's become more dismissive of my parenting and place in our boys' lives. She said that she'll decide what extracurriculars they do, and she'll decide on the food and the school. It gets on my nerves. My oldest and I play house together, and it bothers her. She told me we should be kicking a ball around. She freaked out when I bought our eldest son a lilac shirt because she said it didn't go with the look she likes to give him. She dresses him in red and black or blue and black. She has styled and organized outfits, and I went against that when I brought him the shirt he wanted. The day before, we were at her parents' house, and that day as well, we were arguing because I told her I didn't like the idea of our oldest doing so many extracurriculars right away. Let's let him experiment and have fun. She told me it was her decision. This is something we had discussed before kids, and she wasn't so forceful about it then. Though I knew extracurriculars were a priority for her, and that was fine by me, she knew I didn't believe they should be a burden for kids. So we're at dinner, and she's telling her parents about our fight and what was going on. She says I should default to her as their mother, and they agree with her and ask me why I try to interfere, and that's not the role of the father. I turned around and asked her why she bothered having a father for them when she clearly wanted to be a single mother. They were all furious with me for the question. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. First, she has decided to be a single mother without you. Second, changing her mind and trying to control every single aspect of your kid's life. Third, wanting you to turn into nothing but an ATM. Fourth, airing your fight to her parents. If I were you, I would nip this stupid stuff right now before she turns you into a villain or someone who's not at all needed in her kids' lives. You only have some years to bond with your kids. I don't know. I picked up from the post that she's forcing her crap on the kids too, being furious that the dad bought a shirt that the kid liked and wanted because it doesn't fit her color scheme, not allowing them to play the games they enjoy. She will have no relationship with those kids once they grow up. The wife has some issues that the OP needs to address for the sake of the kids, not just his relationship. Also, it gives hints about mom being an influencer. Either she's one herself or heavily indulges in that content. The wife's acting as the main character, and everyone else, including her kids, is a supporting cast. The only way for those kids to have even a semblance of an everyday life where their choices, both OP's and the kids, are taken into consideration, and for them to not be completely screwed up, is if OP gets the solo parent with no interference from his wife. I agree. You don't have to tolerate this treatment, and your kids shouldn't grow up normalizing this behavior. Mom's going to lose her mind when the kids are old enough to tell the court they want to live with dad full time, and she has to start paying child support. I can't see another outcome if this is how it is for the kids 24/7.